Currently stripping down the AFP-200 panel before we wire up the new device. I'm sorry, this is probably not the best view. There's that. Let's take this off. Oh, and also the power is cut off, so we won't get electrocuted here. Alright, and there's that. Alright. Here's this huge wire that was in these relays. So I'm going to take these out of the terminals. And I'm sorry if this is not the best view, because I had this camera set up kind of weird. Alright, got those out. And put these terminals back in. Hope you guys have seen this. Now we got nothing in the... Now if I power it back on without the without anything in it, as you will see. We still got our troubles, but we do have our pull station here. Got the wire and our resistors, so we got those to wired up. But as you guys know, before we wire up the panel, we gotta disconnect the power to avoid serious injury. Let's open up the bags. It's the alarm wire. See? And here we got our resistors. Sorry if this is not the best view. Gotta be very careful. And these are very very delicate. So here's our terminal block. So unscrew this, and here is the red wire, which is going to go to, I make sure I'm doing it correctly. Yes. It's gonna go right into this. This here. Just sorry if this is not the best video here. Hang on, guys. There should be a better here, but it's gonna go to this part of the terminal. I'm gonna try to hold it in place. And there it is, it's inside. Just tighten it a little bit more. And then I have this part here, which should go to this part right here. And yes, we are doing Class B S.L.C. So there's our wires right there. Now going back to the fire panel, as you can see right there. You notice on the label here, we got B+, A+, B-, and A-. So, let's see. And since we're doing Class B S.L.C. off of one straight wire, see we got in this part of the terminal, we're using the red for the positive, so for the plus, and then the negative for the minus. So that goes in there, and as you can see, it matches up with, if you could see that. Put this block in, click it into place, and there it is. And we got this other end of the wire, and we're gonna strip this. So, just find which would be in the right. I think it's this. So I'd say about, like, right here. And that wasn't the right size. Let me try this one. Here we go. Now we got some exposed wiring here. And let me get the red wire out here. And I'm gonna have to do this off camera. All right, now we got the red wire completely exposed. I'm going to do the black wire. And yeah, the smallest gauge wire size, like on that stripper, is not the right size for this, so I'm gonna have to do it this way, which I'd probably not recommend, but I'm kind of a, I wouldn't say like I'm a total expert of being an electrician, but I am a smart electrician, so I know what I'm doing. But I wouldn't say I'm like super best, like I wouldn't say I'm like the super best at it, but I am a pretty good and smart electrician, so I know what I'm doing here. So here it is. We got both exposed, and now we're gonna wire this part into the pole station. We also got our resistor here. That will prevent us from getting so this part will close our circuit, because without this, the circuit will be broken, and that will cause trouble. So over here on the pull station, if you look on the numbers, we have terminals 1, 2, 3, and 4, and on these BG12s, the terminal 1 is minus and terminal 2 is plus. So, and 3 and 4 are unrelated, so we don't worry about 3 and 4. So, terminal 1 is minus and 2 is plus, and these are our important terminals on the pull station. Also, the way I like to think about it is try to remember the plus and minus on these pull stations, kind of like grades you get in school, because if you look on here, and yes, I'm doing Class B S.L.C, but it'll also work with Class A S.L.C as well. But if you look right here, if you look at plus, it is a higher number, as on minus, it's a lower score, a lower number. And on these pull stations, the terminal 1 is minus and 2 is plus. So that's kind of like how I like to think about how to remember how to wire these BG12s up, is to kind of think about it like grades you get on your report card. Plus, higher number, and minus is a lower number. And I used black wire for B minus and my red wire for B plus. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but I got my red wire in terminal 2 and my black wire in terminal 1. And I'm gonna try to bend these wires so they don't. And then we have our little resistor here. So, and then this resistor goes on these two terminals here. So I'm gonna have to bend it a little bit. Also, this is a 4.7K ohm resistor. And yes, without this, without this resistor, there will be an open circuit and your panel will go into trouble. So to avoid this circuit being open, we have to put this into our terminals, and this will close our circuit. Screw these terminals in. Just gonna fix this one a little bit, make sure it's really in all the way. All right, so there it is. We did the wiring here on our pull station. Oh, and by the way, I don't have a key for the pull station, but when I got it, it was left unlocked. So this pull station does give me trouble closing it sometimes, but it'll still work. And then make sure that the switch right here is in the normal position, and we have to set our address to 1, because this is the only device that's going to be on the system currently. So we got to make sure our 10s is on 0, and we have to make sure this is set to 1 for address 1. So I just take like a screwdriver right here and turn it to 1. There we go. Now we are on address 1. Okay, so now the moment of truth. We are going to power the system back up. Alright, let's fire it up. We got power. And now hasn't recognized the circuit yet, so we got to program it in. It's still saying no devices are installed yet. So I think you go into here, and I think it's the maintenance password. Actually, wait, no, it's not. Let me back out. But your maintenance password by default is typically all 1s, and the basic programming password by default is typically all 0s. Alright, so let's auto program. It should take some. This will obviously take some time to. Here it is. We found module address number 1. And you can move this up and down, I think, to smoke detector, heat detector, water flow supervisory tamper, non-fire hazard, fire control, abort, manual release, silence, system reset, evacuate, whatever that is, I can't read it, trouble, burglar, monitor, and pull station. So I'm going to set this up as, oh, and I have to keep going this way. Here it is. I'm going to set this up as a pull station. And I'm going to keep this name as module address 1. And I think this is to change the zone number. So I'm just going to put this on zone 1. So I press enter. I think that's how you do it. Maybe not. And you see, we no longer have the no devices installed anymore. So then we're going to go back in here and we're going to check our program, make sure it's okay. And yes, it is okay. And just to check, just to make sure, I always like to reset the panel, make sure that it's working properly. And here's our device. And now the moment of truth. We are going to do our first test. Putting this thing in the alarm. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there we go. We have caused an alarm to go off. So there it is. The AFP-200 has officially been wired up, and it's got its first device on it. And gotta reset that because it will go back into full alarm again. So if the switch on here, when you reset the panel, if the switch is still activated, this will go back into alarm. So always make sure before you reset the panel, always make sure that you reset the pull station first. On these BG12s, you can close the pull station to reset it, like just open and close it. But I'm just gonna go the old-fashioned way, I just flip the switch. But on these BG12, you can just open it and close it without flipping the switch. It'll reset automatically. So after you reset the pull station, then you can reset the panel. And troubles will come back because I don't have batteries installed. And I currently have NAC 1 disabled because we have an open circuit because there's no resistor. And I also have NAC 2 disabled, even though it's fine. Just have it disabled just because. So that's why these troubles are still on the panel. Anyways, we now officially have our AFP-200 ready for going into a real fire alarm.